So a bit of news came out yesterday, and I wanted to wait until it was officially confirmed, but Sony themselves have confirmed it, so I'm going to assume that that means it's true, because it most likely is. The PlayStation 4 is getting backwards compatibility for PS2 games. Now this probably doesn't mean that you'll be able to go and get your PS2 games out of storage, shove them in your PS4 and it'll be able to play them. You're probably going to be looking at more of a digital service on the PlayStation Store. Probably a bit different to PlayStation Now, which has been a colossal failure since they launched it, which was a streaming service. My guess is that you'll probably be able to buy the games digitally and download them. So I hope the games aren't that expensive, because you can pop into your local game shop, or if you're in America, GameStop or whatever, and pick up a PS2 game for a couple of quid. Maybe not even that, you know, you could probably get them for 50p or something, and bring them home and things like that. So they're really not that much in the shop, so hopefully there won't be that much in the PlayStation Store. But if there's one thing I've realised, the PlayStation Store is a lot more expensive than in store. So hopefully if it is more expensive, it's only a couple of quid. Personally, I don't think they should charge more than £5 for the games, but yeah, that's just me. We'll see how it goes. They haven't even released many details. They've just kind of said, yeah, we're working on it, which opens up a whole new world of possibilities. I mean, maybe the PS1 will get this sort of treatment eventually in the future too. Hopefully not too far down the road. I think Sony and Microsoft are now starting to realise that people actually do want to play their old games. So maybe when the next Xbox comes out and the PS5 comes out, they might actually put backwards compatibility in these consoles right from the get-go. Hopefully they've actually learned their lesson, because when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, that was very disappointing when they released those without backwards compatibility. So yeah, we're going to see how this goes. There's not really much that's been confirmed so far. They've just said, yeah, we're working on it, and apparently the last update is kind of getting ready for that. So I would venture a guess to say that we will probably be seeing this, or at least some sort of announcement, in the early part of 2016. So we're talking January until April is my official guess of when we're actually going to hear at least a few more details about what they're planning on rolling out. And it got me thinking about some of the PS2 games I used to play back in the day. You know, PS2 was out in sort of 1999 to 2006 when the PS3 came out. So that's like a 7-year period right there. And in 99 I was 8, in 2006 I was 15. So that's quite a substantial period in my childhood was spent playing the PS2, and I really did spend a long time playing that. You know, you had Tony Hawk's Underground 2, which was a game I spent loads of time playing when I was a kid. You had the old WWE games, you know, Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth being my favourite of the WWE games, you know, back in the day, back in the PS2 era. You know, GTA 3, which in my opinion is one of the best GTA games of all time. Obviously the obligatory mention of San Andreas, which in my opinion GTA 3 is better than San Andreas. Please don't crucify me over that, that's just my opinion. I just always preferred GTA 3, I preferred the setting, I preferred the story, I preferred, you know, just generally the aesthetics of the game. GTA 3 in my opinion is better than San Andreas, please don't kill me for saying that. You had other things as well. I think Bomberman made it over onto there, and I loved Bomberman when I was a kid. You had the Simpsons Hit and Run, the Simpsons Road Rage, Futurama, and all sorts of lovely stuff on the PS2. So that was great, and hopefully there's going to be a large enough selection when they start rolling this out, maybe next year, but they haven't actually confirmed anything like that. So hopefully they're going to have a large selection right from the get-go. I mean, the PS2 had a very large library. I'm not sure how many games are out on the PS2. I had a load of games on the PS2. So, I mean, for them to get through them, I don't know if they're planning on releasing all of them or just selected titles. They're going to have to release them in large chunks at a time. And I wouldn't expect to see every PS2 game out, you know, as soon as they start rolling this out, but at least a substantial number, I would imagine. So hopefully at least they're going to give us like a big eclectic selections that some of us who could, you know, who aren't interested in some of the games that everyone loves. So for example, I've never been interested in Ratchet and Clank, and that's probably going to be one of the franchises they look to first. So hopefully they're going to have like a large eclectic selection for people who, you know, like these other sorts of varied games. So hopefully they're not just going to say, Call of Duty, Ratchet and Clank, that'll do. Hopefully they'll actually give us, you know, a decent actual selection of PS2 games as well. And while I'm on that subject, please drop a comment in the comment section below. What PS2 games did you love? What games do you want to see on the PS4? And yeah, how do you think they're going to roll this out? Personally, I think it's going to be a pay for each game and download them sort of thing. I don't think it's going to be a streaming service like PlayStation Now. But and for anyone who's wondering, they're probably not going to be doing the same thing for PS3 games, because PS3 had a very different architectural makeup than the PS4 actually does. And according to every developer who's ever developed for the PS3, it was a nightmare to develop for it because of the architectural makeup for the PS3. So it's probably going to be almost impossible to actually emulate the PS3 on the PS4, but I mean, never say never. It's Sony's product. They probably know all the hacks to do it. So I wouldn't be 100% surprised if we ever saw PS3 games make it onto the PS4. I'm just going to say for now we probably won't, but you never say never. I mean, it's it's Sony's console, both of them are, so if anyone knows how to get around the encryptions, it's Sony, but I'm not a developer, so I don't know what that would actually entail. I don't know what it would take, so I'm not going to venture a guess on that, but from what I can make out, it's going to be a hell of a job to try and get PS3 games on the PS4. PS2 and PS1 games, though, as far as I'm aware, are relatively straightforward when it comes to architecture. So the PS2 we obviously know is possible because they're doing it now, and the PS1 probably will be about the same. Now here's the biggest challenge as far as I understand. This is why people are a bit worried, a bit confused, and honestly moaning a little bit. I mean, they kind of say, well, I can just buy a PS2, hook that up to my TV and play PS2 games. Yeah, you can, but the graphics are going to be really washed out and the resolution is going to be shit, especially if you play it on a TV. I mean, I've got a 50-inch 4K TV right behind this TV, an LG TV, and if I put a PS2 into that, it really wouldn't look good. So according to Sony, they're really gonna like sort of update the games a little bit so that they look good on a 4K TV rather than being stretched out, really blurry and all that sort of thing. They're gonna look quite good on a TV. Now I wouldn't expect, you know, PS4 game quality. You know, it's not going to be that good. I mean, they're not remastering these games, they're just changing them a little bit so that they won't look washed out on a massive TV, and that's obviously needed. You know, they're probably going to have the black bars on the top or whatever, but I don't know. I'm not a technical person. I'm just making, you know, uneducated guesses really, so I could be completely wrong. This is just me offering my thoughts basically on today's news and all that sort of stuff. So trying to think if there's anything else I was going to say. I've mentioned the games I played on the PS2. That was very, you know, not very in-depth, but sort of games I used to play on the PS2. I've explained why we probably won't see the PS4, PS3 games make it on there, and I've also explained that we probably will see the PS1, but probably not for a while. They're going to market the PS2 stuff. Now, there is something else I wanted to mention to all the people sitting there saying, oh, well, I've got a PS4, why do I want to go back and play backwards compatibility? Here's the thing. You don't have to do it. Now, I watched Alpha Omega Sin's video on this exact same subject, so I'm going to borrow a phrase off him. Hopefully he doesn't mind. I'm going to paraphrase him because I can't remember exactly how he put it, but if you are going to complain about something extra being given to you that you're not being forced to use, you're a fucking idiot. It's as simple as that. You don't have to use backwards compatibility. The majority of people on PS4, if they were asked, do you want backwards compatibility or not, most people would say yes. So stop moaning about it. You're not being forced to use it. This is going to be one option available to people. I mean, you're going to literally sitting there, again, I'm still borrowing the argument Alpha Omega Sin made because it's very sound. You can't argue against it. This is an optional service. You're literally complaining about extra stuff being given to you. You are literally saying, no, I don't want extra stuff. I don't want extra options. Just give me the bare minimum, make me pay for it, and there you go. No. No. Even if you're not going to use it, don't moan about extra stuff being given to you. You're not being forced to use it. If they said, hey, to use your PS4 you got to download and play a certain amount of PS2 games every single month, then yeah, moan about it. But don't moan about it when they're saying, hey, this is an option we're going to give you. Use it, don't use it, it's up to you. Don't moan about that. You know, you're moaning about extra stuff. You're basically saying to the companies, I want to pay you money, just don't give me as much as I think just don't give me as much. If you put it that way, it just sounds ridiculous. So to anyone who's moaning, you don't have to use it. Backwards compatibility is something most players want, and honestly it's something I want. I got really excited thinking about some of my PS2 games I used to love back in the day. Really excited to actually get to play them again on my nice big TV. So let me know in the comment section below what PS2 games did you used to play. Please like this video and share it on social media. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.